Before we get started with our big project, we are going to practice some Zentangle patterns. So what I did is I looked up a number of the patterns on my Chromebook, and I'm just going to make a bunch of practice squares. I'm making 12, so I have 3 rows of 4 squares, and they don't have to be perfect. You can kind of just put them in however fit. And then I want you to label them big, medium, and small. This is going to help us get a variety of different patterns. So we want to have some big patterns, and we want some medium ones and some small patterns. What I mean by big, medium, and small has to do with the amount of detail or the size of the Zentangle that you put inside of your square. So the large size patterns are the ones that are going to have the least number of lines and the least amount of detail. And then medium, it's going to have slightly more detail. And then the small patterns are going to be the ones that have lots and lots of detail. I have my video sped up quite a bit, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what Zentangles are and why you should really be taking your time when you're doing them. The people who invented Zentangles wanted to kind of create a sort of meditation method, so to speak, to go along with drawing. And so really what they want you to do is take some time and just take a deep breath and relax while you're doing your Zentangles. And then you just want to be focusing on what you're drawing. You don't have to make something that looks exactly like what you see on your screen if you're referencing some from Google. It's really just kind of about letting your hand move in a direction and then seeing where that takes you. They value having a lot of imagination, so they want you to try and like make something new, something that like you wouldn't expect to make. You know, I made something that kind of looks like, I don't know, it kind of looked like scales to me at first, and then it sort of looked like lace. So, you know, you can kind of start off with one idea and then switch to something else. They just want you to be kind of trusting your own creative process. If you have a lot of patterns on your test sheet that look a lot like just a lot of square lines, then why don't you try and do some that have more curls to them, or some spirals, or you could even try and do things that are a combination of both. If you get stuck and you're just looking at your paper and it's just a blank sheet of paper, the suggestion to get started with your Zentangle is to just make one line going through your page or your box. And it can go any direction, it can be straight or it can be curvy. And in the Zentangle method, that is called a string. And then what you do is after you make your first string, you make another one. And it could be one that mirrors it or looks very, very similar to your first string, or it could be something that is very opposite of it. And so once you have a couple of strings down, or, you know, your first lines on the paper, whatever they look like, then you start to add your tangles, which is where the part of Zentangle comes from. You want to tangle those lines up. So however you feel like it, you can make connections to them, you can cross them over each other, you can figure out ways to make them connect instead, and you just kind of have fun from there. If you do a number of these and you still don't really find patterns that you like, that you would like to use in your final project, I would encourage you to make another sheet of this. You know, take 1 or 2 of the patterns that you liked a little bit better than the others, and then do another set and make some variations on what you did. Because it's only through practice and it's only through making a lot of work that you're going to find something that you like exactly. There's only about a minute left in this video, and so I'm just going to kind of let it play through. If you have any questions about the Zentangle method or anything else about this project, definitely come up and talk to Miss B. Also, there are more details on the Google Classroom, so you can always check there for due dates and other relevant information for the project. Thanks, guys. See you later.